Baran Abed came to St. John's in May with hopes of building a new life with her husband. The couple was married for 11 years. 2 months later, her body was found inside this suitcase near Water Street West in downtown. Her husband, 34-year-old PhD student from Mon, Mahdi Pourbaghi, was also found dead by police in the couple's apartment a day before Abed's body was found. The RNC won't confirm if this was a murder-suicide case, but they say Abed's husband was involved. The murder hit the local Iranian community hard, especially those who knew Pourbaghi well.
So this tragedy has deeply shaken our community. As to most of us, Mahdi appears to be a very kind, respectful, calm, and caring person. So it's unbelievable.
Pourbaghi wasn't just a graduate student. He was also the voice behind a Persian true crime podcast.
داشتم کنترلم رو روی چیزی از دست میدادم.
He narrated stories of notorious criminals taking on the role of killers like Jeffrey Dahmer and Dennis Nilsen.
His podcast also is one of among the popular one. It is in Farsi.
Pourbaghi's last recording left listeners stunned. He tells the story of a killer who just murdered an innocent woman. At one point, Pourbaghi talks about contemplating his own death. He closes that episode with the following line: "The dead don't speak, but their killers do." While the details of his podcast doesn't mirror the couple's real-life fate, Pourbaghi's words left his listeners drawing eerie similarities. For this community organizer, this tragedy highlights a deeper issue of intimate partner violence and how often it goes unnoticed.
I think it's really sad that we have to talk about this sort of violence when something terrible happens. A lot of the support and protection comes from within our own communities, and I think that would be my biggest message. Really work at being supported by other people who are in your community. I mean, reaching out, all those things, those are things, of course, ultimately we want women to be safe and to be protected. And in some cases that means leaving, that means filing charges in some cases, but sometimes it starts with building good relationships.
Building relationships, something Abed never had the chance to do before her life was violently cut short. Even though Hajedari didn't know Abed personally, her story hits close to home.
Like many of us, she came to Canada to, looking for a brighter, better future. It's a kind of heartbreaking. It's truly heartbreaking to see that how her life got short in such a tragic way.
Back in Iran, Abed's family is in grief as they wait for her to come home.
So Baran's family, they are far from here, so they are going through unimaginable pain, and all news that they actually receive devastating them. They've been waiting for Baran to return home since July that tragedy happened.
Pourbaghi was quietly buried at a Muslim cemetery in St. John's. The Iranian community wants to send Abed's remains back to her family in Iran, but that's complicated. GoFundMe has shut down Abed's fundraising page because it involves Iran. And with no Iranian embassy in Canada, Abed's repatriation has become even more complex. Ariyana Gomes, CBC News, St. John's.